What you're looking at here is two different calculations. The first calculation is the year 2015 divided by 2, which clearly dividing 2015 by 2, you can make out all the years that Abraham lived, 175 years, straight across 7.5. And then the second calculation is giving you what I'm showing is all the years that Abraham lived multiplied by all the years that Jesus lived. Clearly gives you the year that Israel is today, 5,775. Now, 1,982 years ago when Jesus was crucified in Jerusalem, the Jews didn't want to recognize Jesus as the Messiah. But clearly Jesus is the Messiah. And Jesus will be appearing this year, 2015, for Judgment Day. And clearly, this is the 67th year of Israel's independence. They just celebrated their independence. But clearly, they're overlooking the fact that God created the earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh. So clearly, sometime this year, 2015, Israel will be no more. I'd like to bring to your attention another two calculations. Clearly, those who are into the geography of the earth, and also, should I say, the geometry of the earth, or who very much understanding about the 66.5, which is the North Pole and the South Pole. The longitude for the North Pole and the South Pole is 66.5 degrees latitude from the equator, clearly taking the 66.5 and dividing 66.5 by all the years that Jesus lived until he allowed himself to be crucified and rose again. Clearly we can make out the year 2015, which is the year 2015, showing that this year 2015 Jesus will return and judge the world. It will be Judgment Day. That is from the calculation from the North and South Pole, calculating the latitude of the North and South Pole from the equator. Clearly, 23.5 is the axis of the Earth, and 23.5 divided by 2, clearly we can make out all the years that Abraham lived, 1.75. It is not a coincidence. So the year 2015 is clearly pointing to the end of the world and Judgment Day. Here is a very interesting calculation that I definitely want to share with everyone. The year 2015 divided by the numerical value for the word Yahweh. Yahweh being the number 26, as I showed you in my previous video. And clearly dividing the year 2015 by the numerical value, the number Yahweh. Clearly we can make out 5,775, which is the year that Israel is today. That is not a coincidence. And the way they spell it is exactly 775. They also spell it 5,775, but this is showing you the year that Israel is today according to their lunar solar calendar. And what's the connection? That God is coming back this year, 2015, Yahweh, to judge the world. And as you can see, the 7 and the 6 inside this calculation, God is looking at the year 2015 like he did in the beginning. So clearly you see your 67 that you are celebrating this year, your 67th year of independence clearly is inside this calculation. The 6 and the 7. So if I was a nation of Israel, I'd be mindful that the same Messiah you crucified in 3,793 according to your lunar solar calendar is coming for vengeance and revenge against you in the world, in the earth. This year, 2015, according to your calendar, the year 5775. And clearly, those numbers 255 are the falling angels in the Hebrew numerical value. Those numbers 255, every time you see that, it's connected to those fallen angels. And clearly, in this calculation, we can make out all the years that Abraham lived, 175 years. Also, we can make out in this calculation the first verse in the Bible, which is made up, which just has the numerical value 2,000. I believe it's, 2,701 is the numerical value of Genesis 1 verse 1. And clearly you can make that out with this calculation. The 2, the 7, the 0, the 1. In concluding this video, I will show you these two side-by-side calculations. The year 2015 divided by 3 in reference to the third of the stars was cast from heaven to the earth. In Revelation chapter 12 it mentions this. And as we can see, you can clearly make out from this calculation all the years that Abraham lived, 175. You can clearly make out all the numerical value for the first verse in the Bible, 2701. And clearly you can see all the 6s inside the calculation when you divide the year 2015 by 3. Clearly you can see the 6 and 7 in the beginning of it, in the calculation before the decimal point. And you can see the 6 and 7 on the end. And clearly you can make out the number 37 on the end, which is connected to the tetragrammaton. 37 being connected to the tetragrammaton. Looking at the second calculation, 2015 divided by 666. Clearly you could see the 3 before the decimal point and the 3 consecutive 255, 255, 255. Speak to any rabbi, Hebrew scholar, he would tell you that, if he's honest, he would tell you that according to the Kabbalah and according to Hebrew gematria, 255 is the number of the fallen angels. And that's represented 3 times in this calculation. We divide 2015 divided by 666. You see the third of the angels cast to the earth, the third planet that we're on. And you see the 255, 255, 255, which in Hebrew gematria is the number for fallen angels. Appreciate it. Making this video for everyone. I appreciate that you watch it and get great insight. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. rkeithnj@gmail.com. God bless. God bless. God bless.